Non-parents shouldn't be allowed to have time off during school holidays, by user Snugoats 1557. Today found an article about how all the children-free monsters are booking holidays during the summer. Excerpt below. My husband's small team is full of child-free colleagues who often book the school holidays off, despite not even having kids. I don't think it's that big a deal for companies to say that only parents should get priority to book off half-term or the 6-week summer holiday. First, if you have kids you need to be organized and book time off early. How does it go? Your lack of planning does not constitute an emergency on my part. Also, if I want to go to a summer festival or spend a week with my nephews, that's up to me. Yes, having kids can make work/life balance more difficult, but that is a choice people make when they have kids. When did it become normal for parents to demand everyone else adjust their lives because of a choice they made? My mom wants to cure my asexuality, by user valuable comment 2491. Hoo boy, here we go. 18F, just came out to my mom as asexual. Her reaction? She wants to put me on hormones to increase my sex drive. This is actually so dumb. My mom is a hardcore Christian who believes that premarital sex is pretty much the worst thing you can do. Yet when I tell her that I have no desire to have sex, she wants me to still want to. This is the same woman that hates trans people and is disgusted when trans kids are put on hormones, yet she wants to put me, her adult daughter, on hormones, because she thinks I should want sex, but also not have sex. I couldn't make this make less sense if I tried. Update. Today we were talking about college and she goes off on a tangent that was essentially her repeatedly going, don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex. I don't even know what she wants anymore. My dad slaps my butt, by user rare draw 3271. Is this normal? I am 14. He's done this since I was 9 as far as I can remember. The first time he did it I was trying to pick out a TV show and he walks by out of nowhere and slaps my butt. I didn't even have time to think about it before I instantly started crying. I'm not sure what my dad's reaction was, but my mom and aunt were there and my aunt told my mom I was faking my tears, despite the fact I wasn't, and told her so. He's done it before when I'm bending over looking for something in the fridge or in drawers. He started laughing when he saw I was uncomfortable. I haven't explicitly told him I'm uncomfortable with it, but I feel like actions and facial expressions are enough for him to tell. Like I literally walked away from him and he was still laughing. He's someone who I just don't want to interact with but have to because he's my father. He likes to push and argue about my boundaries. For example, I've stated I don't like him staring at me. I've woken up to him staring at me and he's started an argument in the hospital with me, using the excuse that he's my father and he can stare if he wants. He touches my hair, something I hate people doing without permission due to my mother pulling it when I was younger, and forcefully pulls me in and wraps his arm around my shoulder while addressing the fact I'm uncomfortable with him. I feel awkward just being in a room with him. I feel like I can't talk to my mother when he's there even if it's not about him or something normal. He has a history of dating younger girls, which is a major part of the reason why I dislike him so much. For example, he and my mother have a 7-year age gap between them. They first saw each other when she was 8 and he was 16, or 15, they didn't officially meet until she was 17 and worked in the same place as him. By this time he had already been married and had his first child with someone. I'm not sure if he was divorced. She ignored him for 3 years due to being uncomfortable with him confessing he had feelings for her. Due to dating his friends they started talking to each other again. He told her he was kicked out of his mother's house because of a fight with her and she agreed to have him live with her. He kissed her when she was crying and during that same year she became pregnant with me. He cheated on her throughout the entire time according to her. His most recent that he's physically met was an 18-year-old, I think. I've also heard arguments between them where my mom said that he told her the girl was 18, she sounded very upset when he said this, like she was implying that he lied to her. I've also heard her say that he was dating a minor, same girl, in different fight. In the past few months there was an argument between them where my mother said she found him messaging 14-year-old girls, though if I heard it right, they didn't reply back. So, yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about all this. Edit. Just so everyone knows, my aunt does not live in my home anymore and hasn't for years, most of my family except for that aunt, and she lives in a different city, live overseas. I don't have anyone to talk to cause it's literally just been me and my parents for about 5 years. I only talk to family on my mother's side which from what I know have all suffered from generational trauma. The only one I think might even manage to actually at least recognize my mental health issues is the youngest aunt who told my mom that she, youngest aunt, wouldn't care if she, mom, died of starvation, because dad messaged youngest aunt behind mom's back and started venting to her and calling my mom a pedo BC she dated a 19-year-old on Fortnite. I am not even joking or trolling, I gotta live with this, and even then I barely talk to my youngest aunt and do not trust texting her due to my mom. Previously looking through my messages and implying I had a secret code with my cousin who can't read and getting annoyed about 3 deleted texts with him. Edit. I talked to Rain which led me to Child Help which is now telling me to contact CPS and make a report if I want to get law enforcement and to make a log of things my parents have said and done to me if I don't have proof. They also sent me a link to make a report of child abuse in my state. I am also remembering worse things. Like my mom raising my shirt when we were hiking and showing my grandma, on vacation so we were visiting, my chest to say I turned out like my aunt. Also that time where I was trying on pants and showing my mom how they looked and my dad came out of nowhere to check the tag, which meant looking inside my pants which I didn't like so I physically pulled away and he got pissed and mentioned how he saw me naked as a baby, he got so mad he left the house to go smoke. And the time where I was changing in a store and my grandma walked in with no warning to give me more pants and when I told her not to do that she brushed it off, I was so uncomfortable I cried to my parents about it afterwards. And the time where I was 8, 7, and changing in the bathroom to which my grandma walked in to use it and I told her to not do that to which she responded we were both girls so it was fine. Loudly crying face WTF. BFs, 25, parents have complete control of him, despite him renewing his lease today. None of us can break through to him, by user long jumping size 762. He's 25. This is insane. They have alienated us for a month. We were going to have dinner tonight and snuggle, and I got a mystery text can't make it, plans changed. We worked so hard to get him moved out last year. So many people on here can't leave because of financial issues, he saved up a massive amount of money, 4 years worth of rent, and had a full-time job. We all rallied behind him, his friends, my friends, our co-workers. He had a village. Over a period of a year, we uncovered a misdiagnosis, confirmed by specialists, and he was able to get off the meds. They had him erroneously diagnosed with bipolar after he had reacted to his abuse and got the cops called on him and hauled to the psych unit. We were also able to get him to a neuropsychologist and uncover what's really been going on, OCD and ADHD. His parents say the diagnosis is false. Any doctor he's seen while he was with me are all wrong. When they found out I was helping with all of this they lost their shit, started calling me a controlling abuser. They have confiscated his currently prescribed meds and forced him on the old ones he worked so hard to get off of. He made a perfectly normal, legal, $500 purchase related to health, they forced him to destroy it. We recently found a therapy program to address all these issues but now he says he can't be honest because he's now doing it from their house. They forced him to delete all photos of me. They are tracking his every movement. Any attempt he makes to speak up, they tell him he's too mentally ill, doesn't know what he's talking about. Anytime he says no, they say he's an adolescent, they're sick of his little drama, etc. He still has 2 months on the current lease, but every time he wants to go home he gets beleaguered. Every time he says no, they spend hours turning into a yes. They will bombard him with endless texts and calls. He's constantly interrogated. He's constantly told he will fail without them. He's constantly told he's too disabled to do this on his own. They're forcing him to go to college despite him having said not ready 100 times, in a field he has no aptitude for or interest in. He had said so many times these choices are not his own. He still has his own apartment. Today his mother was going to pack everything up, even though he has 2 months left. He told all of us he knows how wrong this is, took the plunge today and renewed the lease. And then they found out, and he disappeared again. Can't make it, plans changed. My friend and I walked to his apartment, and of course he was not there. Yesterday and today he talked about how he knows how wrong this all is. He took the plunge and renewed the lease. They immediately demanded he contact property management and tell them he changed his mind. I'm exhausted, I'm spent, I'm sick and he will not listen to anyone, and keeps choosing this. Last time he lived there, he slept with a Glock under his bed, ready to end his life because he said he never even knew there was the option to just leave. He's talked about learned helplessness, being controlled this way his whole life, and Stockholm Syndrome. We helped him do that. We all rallied around him for his safe passage. And now he's gone back. I'm 23 and my mom got upset at me for turning my location off, by userthin_shape7184. My mom's had my location on for a few months now, and I know for a fact she checks it periodically throughout the day, even if we're in communication. I don't mind her tracking occasionally for peace of mind, I just don't like that I feel I can't go somewhere because my mom would see and get mad even though I've graduated university lol. I understand the safety concern, but I have shared my location with my close friends who my mom has contact with. She blew up and got very upset at me saying I'm blocking her out of my life even though I'm not. I'd just rather have communication about my plans as opposed to her just stalking me. But am I wrong here?